Astelibra Revision. This is one of those indie JRPGs that absolutely a must play. This one was made by one person over 15 years, and you can feel the passion in every pixel. It's a side-scrolling action RPG with Metroidvania elements, and the story goes to some genuinely dark places, which is pretty good. The combat system is ridiculously satisfying once it clicks. You are exchanging, or you can say juggling different weapon types, magic, and timing-based counters. It starts kinda slow at first, but man, just stick with it for a while, and by the end, you will understand why this is an overwhelmingly positive JRPG and probably the most popular JRPG on Steam. And it is a hidden gem indie that deserves way more attention, and I think you should play it because this game is absolutely good and it is pretty cheap. It is made by one person like Stardew Valley, and what's not to love about a good indie game? Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. Look, I grew up watching DBZ and probably most of you guys are, so there is definitely some nostalgia bias in this game, but Kakarot, or Goku, does something that most anime games fall at. It actually respects the source material whilst being a decent action RPG. Look, this is not the best JRPG in the market, but the most popular on Steam, yes. And you are reliving the entire DBZ saga with proper RPG progression, side quests, and honestly some of the best fan service I've seen in a Dragon Ball Z game. Look, the combat is flashy as hell, the exploration is surprisingly pretty chill, you know, go here and there, and you can fish with Goku, man, in this game, and it's genuinely pretty fun. It's not a perfect game, obviously, it's not the best action RPG, pacing can drag during filler arcs, but if you are a fan or you just want to experience the DBZ universe, I think this one is definitely a must play, and yeah, go check this one out. Finding Paradise, part of the To the Moon series, and holy shit, this game knows how to hit you right in the feels. You are essentially walking through someone's memories, changing their past to give them a better death. I know it sounds kinda disgusting or morbid, but it is pretty good, like one of the most touching stories I've ever experienced in a JRPG. The gameplay is quite minimal. This is basically a visual novel with JRPG aesthetics, but the narrative is so well crafted that you will not care about that stuff. And my god guys, the story in this game amazing, so kudos to them for making this one. The next is Persona 3 Reload. Yes, the remake nobody asked for, but everyone needed. Persona 3 was already brilliant and special in everyone's JRPG place, but Reload modernized it without losing what made the original special, the darker tone and the creepy aspects of the game. Yeah, this game is quite creepy for a first timer. And the fact that you are literally shooting yourself in the head to summon demons, yeah, it is edgy anime stuff, but it looks cool in a JRPG. Yes, they did have a bit of changes, you know, not the best changes, like the game becomes a lot easier in my opinion, but you know, the social sim, the dungeon crawling is improved, and the soundtrack, man, holy, it's still so fucking good. If you have never played Persona 3, I think you should start here, because as for myself, I did start with Persona 3 Reload, and then I went back to the original Persona 3, and then yeah, for me, I like this game more than the original Persona 3, even though the original Persona 3 have more challenges. I think it is more difficult because you have this mood system every time you go into a dungeon, but Persona 3 Reload still a very good JRPG. Touhou Mysterious Izakaya. Yeah, I bet you weren't expecting a restaurant management game on the list, especially for a JRPG game, but this one is set in the Touhou universe. You are running an izakaya and serving yokai customers. It's completely weird yet compelling at the same time. You are gathering ingredients, experimenting with recipes, and managing your business whilst the JRPG elements slowly reveal themselves. The pixel art is gorgeous, the music is quintessentially Touhou, and before you know it, you have spent 30 hours optimizing your menu. I think it is somewhat a comfort food for game, so I do recommend it, and this is one of the best selling JRPGs on Steam. Number 5, it is Volcano Princess. This is basically Princess Maker but Chinese, and it's quite brilliant. You are raising your daughter through various life stages, making decisions that shape her future. The art style is pretty stunning, the writing is surprisingly deep, and there is genuine replayability as you explore different paths. It's got this life sim elements if you like it. There is this turn-based combat too. Of course you will like it, it's turn-based combat, right? And it has multiple endings, so pretty cool. And this is one of those games where you finish a playthrough and immediately start another because you want to see what happens if you make different choices. So yes, Volcano Princess, a weird but compelling one, and it has some charm, and it is a bloody brilliant game. In number 4, it is Persona 4 Golden. Yes, for Persona 4, I know. This is basically the most JRPG out of JRPG of all time. P4 Golden is about a murder mystery in rural Japan, but it's really about accepting yourself, about friendships and your identity. Personally, I think in my opinion, Persona 4 has the best story out of Persona 5, Persona 3, and 1 and 2, right? Because this is a murder mystery and it is filled with creepy stuff, filled with, well, mysteries, obviously. And just by playing this game, you just want to continue on playing and playing and playing again, unlike in most Persona games for me. Well, your experience might differ, but yeah, Persona 4 Golden, the story is the best one. Dungeons are quite repetitive, not the best. I think the best one would be Persona 5 Royale because it has so many things to do in every dungeon. But in Persona 4 Golden, everything else is so well executed that you forgive it. Hundreds of hours of social links, demon fusion, and vibing to one of the best soundtracks in gaming. I know it is older than Persona 5 Royale, but honestly, if you want to try a JRPG, I think Persona 4 Golden is the best way to start because it has a good story. It has a good dungeon-based system. It is a turn-based system, obviously, because this is a JRPG. And yeah, it's just fun all around. So Persona 4 Golden is really, really worth playing. Number 3, it is Omori. Man, where do I even start with Omori? It presents itself as this cute, quirky RPG with, chibi vibes, and then it gradually revealed itself to be one of the most emotionally devastating games I have ever played. Now, it deals with trauma, depression, and grief in ways that feels kind of uncomfortable. Now, I do love this story. It is good. It is a mystery what is going to happen, what is happening next. People say that this is probably their best mystery anime RPG, the best selling one, the most popular on Steam. So yeah, the combat, I forgot to talk about the combat. The combat is solid. It is your usual turn-based JRPG, nothing much. It's like Pokemon to say the least, and the art direction is incredible. And the story, man, yeah, as I said, the story, you should experience it by yourself. For me, it's not the best story in JRPG, but if you look at it at a different perspective, like it deals with trauma, depression, and whatnot, I think it's probably the best one. And like I said, this is not for everyone. If you are not in that deep of emotional level, I don't think you will really enjoy the story. But honestly, even if you don't, you should experience this game by yourself because I think this game as a whole is really good. Really, really good. So yeah, Omori, play this game. It is quite incredible. And you will know what I'm talking about if you have finished the game. And in number 2, what a surprise, Persona 5 Royale, the definitive version of what many consider the best JRPG of all time. And they're not wrong, they are absolutely right. If you haven't played Persona 5 Royale, you should at this moment. Even one of my cousins didn't really want to play Persona 5 Royale because how long the story is, but I forced him to play, and now he is stuck at 80 hours, not progressing, and just want to play more. Yeah, he is enjoying the shit out of that 80 hours and he haven't finished it, so it says something. So in this game, you are a phantom thief, stealing hearts and changing corrupt adults' minds, all whilst managing this school life sim and relationships. Now, like I said, I think the story, Persona 4 has a better story than this one because this one is tackling with criminals, it's tackling with politics. Like, it's not my cup of tea again. But even though it tackles politics and whatnot, the story is always engaging because it makes you want to keep playing this game because the mystery of this game is immaculate. On how they bring the story, the plot, and everything together, holy shit. Guys, I just want to say this. If you think that the story is going to end, it will not end. That's it. That is the major spoiler that I could give you. But hey, it's a 10-year-old game at this point. I'll spoil anything. So this game has a very outstanding style. As you all know, every menu, every transition, every UI element oozes with personality. Combat, your simple turn-based JRPG. Well, actually not that simple, but you get the idea what I'm trying to say. And the palaces or dungeons are pretty creative. And the cast is so good. So like, I cannot fathom how good this cast in this game. Yes, the game is long as hell. It's going to take 100 hours plus, but let me tell you, this game will not waste your time. So play this game, try it out, and I know you will be having a lot of fun playing this game. Now in number 1, it is Deltarune. Now I know this game is not technically a Japanese role-playing game, but it is an indie western RPG that has so many elements of JRPG, so I think it's fair enough that we call this game a JRPG. And this game is very popular because, of course, this is made by Undertale's developer, Toby Fox, and if you know Toby Fox, he is very great in the writing, the characters are very memorable, and the meta-narrative elements are genuinely clever without being so obnoxious. And the combat, man, it's something, okay? Because there is turn-based combat, there is like a Guitar Hero minigame, there's like a lot of stuff going on in this game. But I think that is the charm of this game. You don't take things too seriously, I mean in the gameplay department, but it's just fun all around. And man, the soundtrack in this game is amazing. And there's this underlying darkness that makes you question everything in this game. And as far as I know, this game is not yet finished, but it has 4 chapters. Well, chapter 1 and 2 are free, there's a demo for this game, and you need to pay for the next chapter. But I think it's fair enough because this game in itself is a very outstanding game and a very memorable one. So I think definitely worth picking up if you haven't experienced this game. And yeah, Deltarune, number 1. Top 1 selling JRPG on Steam, so definitely worth playing.